watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Definitely gives me more confidence to I believe in myself more that I'm ready for a title shot. And just whoever's willing to give me the opportunity. I'm very respectful. I'm not gonna call anyone a bum. I'm not like that at all. I respect every fighter that comes into this ring.
It just so happens that 3 pieces of the welterweight title are actually in the building tonight with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, both ringside. What do you have to say to them?
I don't have anything else to say. I do all my talking in the ring. Technically, I am in the ring right now, but you know what I mean, all right?
For a guy like Terrence Crawford, who does not have a fight booked next, would you like that to be your next fight?
I would love that opportunity. You know what? If I get any opportunity from anyone, then of course, and Crawford is possibly the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, definitely top 2. And if they give me that opportunity, I'm looking at you, bud. I'm looking at you. If you want to make this fight happen, I'm more than willing to do it.
Do you believe at 22 years old, you're ready for a Terrence Crawford?
I don't care if I'm ready or not. I want that fight.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Virgil Ortiz, he went on his Instagram. He put up a graphic showing that now he is the #1 WBO contender for Terrence Crawford's belt, which could really only mean one thing. It would mean that Shawn Porter, he actually had to vacate his mandatory status, kind of like Ryan Garcia, because that's exactly what Ryan did. Ryan was the #1 contender, and he basically vacated that spot to fight Javier Fortuna instead. Now he's taken a temporary layoff, but the point is, the only way Virgil Ortiz can be #1 in the WBO rankings is if Shawn Porter gave him that position by stepping aside. Let me give you one more example. When it comes to Jermall Charlo, we all know that he was Canelo Alvarez's mandatory for almost 2 years. Now, because Jermall Charlo refused to give up his mandatory position, Canelo Alvarez was forced to either fight his mandatory or give up the belt. And Canelo decided to give up the belt. This is exactly what would have happened if Shawn Porter didn't give up his position. Now, once again, it's Virgil Ortiz that's reporting that he's now the #1 contender in the WBO rankings. I went to the website to check the rankings for the WBO, and they haven't updated them yet since April 20th. But there's no reason for Virgil Ortiz to lie about the situation. It's an indication that he must really want the Terrence Crawford fight. But when it comes to Shawn Porter, I don't really know what he's planning on doing right now. I don't know if he's planning on waiting for an Errol Spence fight. It's really not making a whole lot of sense, because if this was a money issue when it comes to Shawn Porter, it seems to me he would have had more leverage by remaining Terrence Crawford's mandatory, because the fight could have went to purse bid, just like the Teofimo Lopez-Kambosos fight did. Now they're making 2-3 times more than they would have made. If they would have did the fight with Bob Arum, at least Teofimo, he was going to get, what, $1 million, $1.25 million if he did the fight with Bob Arum. Now he's going to make around $3 million. Just imagine if Triller would have won the purse bid for Terrence Crawford versus Shawn Porter. Man, they would have made way more money than Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos is making. So this is why I really don't understand why Shawn Porter would give up his #1 spot. Now, I want to play a clip for you guys of what Shawn Porter said a couple of weeks back about not giving up his spot for this reason exactly. Let me play this clip.
Oh, Lordy. I don't know. I think, and I also think that there's a lot of different possibilities to making the fight happen between myself and Terrence Crawford. I think at this point now everybody's forgotten that WBO ranked me the #1 contender for his title, which means I'm a mandatory fight, which means you can't just go on and fight someone else. You have to deal with the mandatory. Now you can pay the mandatory off and go and fight someone else, or you do a purse bid to make the fight happen with the mandatory. So I think that is another thing that we have at this point as a advantage is my dad and I, we understand the business and we know the business, and we can't, quote unquote, be screwed by the business, So other fighters don't understand that, and they lose their mandatory position and don't know how the fight didn't happen and how they didn't get paid because the fight didn't happen, you know. So I think that collectively I'm just doing everything I can to manage the business, manage the friendship, manage the training, and everything else that I got going on right now in life. So it makes every day interesting, and it makes every day, gives you something to strive for every day as well.
Okay, so you guys heard Shawn Porter say there's no way he's going to lose his number one mandatory spot. And then he also said the only way someone could fight over him is if they were to pay him off to step aside. Now, and I believe the only reason they would pay Shawn Porter money to step aside is if Terrence Crawford was involved in a huge fight that was obviously way bigger than the Shawn Porter fight. And I don't think that's the case, which leads me to believe that it's most likely, if this news is true, that Porter is no longer the number one contender, this could only mean one thing, and that's Shawn Porter. He decided to remove himself from that position for whatever reason. I also think it's pretty interesting. He hasn't responded to Ortiz putting up that graphic showing that Shawn Porter is no longer the number one contender. Eventually, he'll have to respond to it. Let's see if he does. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
An important message from Youth Fountain Laboratory, makers of VasoFlux and VasoFlux for Men. If you're over the age of 35 and over the years you've eaten pizza, dairy foods, deli meats, or meats with fat, you are likely to have some degree of plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. This increases your risk of suffering a stroke or heart attack exponentially, and no one wants such a catastrophic event to occur. Introducing Plaque Out. Plaque Out is made of all natural ingredients proven to help dissolve clots in the blood, remove calcium deposits and plaque from the walls of veins and arteries, improve viscosity of the blood, improve elasticity of the veins and arteries, treat varicose veins, and prevent the reoccurrence of plaque buildup. For more information, visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856. And remember, to help unclog veins and arteries, get the Plaque Out.
Now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elodiki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.